and welcome to the Brisca Formula 1 Stock.Car Racing Championships here at Coventry Stadium. My name's Michelle and I'm so excited to be bringing you all of the action here from Coventry tonight. And believe me, I think we're going to see some. Formula 1 stock cars may look agricultural to some, but they're actually highly technical machines built to withstand the rough and tumble of life on the oval circuit. Powered by highly tuned American V8 engines pushing out over 600 brake horsepower and weighing in at well over a tonne, driving one of these machines takes tremendous amounts of skill and nerve. But to the casual observer, the thing that takes most comment is this, the aerofoil. Now they may look like oversized advertising boards, but like everything else on these cars, they have a more specific purpose. And that's to force the car down onto the track to help the tyres grip the surface. There are actually two types of aerofoil. This one, which sits horizontal to the track and forces the car down onto the track on the straights, and this style, which is used specifically when racing on shale surfaces like we have here at Coventry. On shale, which is quite a loose surface, grip on the bends is vital, and so by using this type of wing, when the car is thrown into the corner, the outside rear wheel is pushed down into the track to help provide the tyres provide the maximum traction. And it really is as simple as that. I'm joined by a very well-known face in stock car racing, and that's Frankie Wainman Jr. Frankie, first of all, hello to you.
Hello to you. Okay,
2007, and this is going to be a big year for you, but first off, how did you get into stock car racing and how come you've stayed so loyal to it?
I was brought up in stock car racing. I've been here all my life. My dad's raced since I was born, so obviously as soon as I was old enough to race, I raced mini stocks for 6 years and then straight into the Formula 1s 20 years ago now.
Now it is a bit of a family sport for you, isn't it? Because you just mentioned your dad there's a racer, but so's your brother.
Yeah, my little brother, he races the junior mini stocks now. He's coming into the big league end of this season, so there'll be 3 of us then. So obviously my dad's going to take a back seat next season, so there'll just be me and him. So.
Is anyone going to take on his number?
I don't know. I don't know if Daniel's going to take it. I think my dad might want him to, but obviously that's, it's up to them, whichever they want to do. So.
Now, last year you relinquished the world title and also the national points championship as well. How does it feel not to have that number 1 on your car this year?
The world championship, that's a one-off race every year. Obviously, the national series, which Andy won, is the first time that he's won that, and it was a good series. So.
I have to ask, and we all want to ask, don't we? Is there going to be any fisticuffs between you and Andy this year?
No, there's never any fisticuffs. No, I mean there's good on-track rivalry.
There's a lot of love.
Yeah, there's a good on-track rivalry. There always is. That's the good thing about this sport. It's so hard out on the track, yet off the track, everything's sorted and it's calm in the pits. So.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you, and I think from everyone, it's good luck to you. We look forward to seeing you race.
Thank you very much.
For those of you unfamiliar to stock car racing, there's a few things we should explain to help you understand what makes this such a spectacular sport. The first is that all drivers in short oval racing are graded according to how successful they've been. Novice drivers are white, then we have yellow, blue and red grade drivers. And of course, let's not forget gold roof, which denotes the world champion. On the Formula 1 stock car, those colours can be found here on the aerofoil, and it's really important to know this because unlike any other motorsport, the top drivers, the red drivers, have to start at the back and battle their way to the front, which is really hard, bearing in mind we have up to 30 cars in a race. Which leads us on to possibly the most exciting aspect of stock car racing, and that's that it's a full contact motorsport. These bumpers are here for a reason, but it isn't simply a case of crashing into anything that moves. What they are used for is to nudge cars out of the way to clear a path through the pack. And that might sound simple, but with the cars hitting speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, it takes a great deal of skill. It also means that stock car racing provides a constant stream of spectacular racing action.
Heat number 1 then, and we've got 16 laps for these drivers to contest of the quarter mile oval here at Coventry Stadium. Here are the star grade drivers, just going through the screen there. The big wing, number 321, that's Ed Nichol, and Simon Panton is alongside in car number 288. A lot of these drivers have raced in the smaller Formula 2 division before moving up to Formula 1, and now the green flag is thrown. As you can see, the cars get up to speed, and away we go. Heat number 1 is underway. The big beefy Formula 1 stock cars slide out wide as they make their way around the turn. There's Simon Panton, and now the star graders got to make their way through the field to try and get into the qualifying spots. And we're on board here with 195 Dean Whitwell. It's car number 462, Scott Davids, who has already won a final. Only joined Formula One stock cars, has only done 2 meetings in Formula One stock cars, and has amazingly won a feature final. So he's certainly going to be upgraded at the end of the month. But for now, he's at the front, 462, leading heat number 1. There he is, going into the turn, the pit turn there. Number 22, Will Yarrow, we see inside as he starts to fight his way through the field. Will has raced on all the stock car tracks nationwide and appeared in the live action arena at Christmas time in up there at the NEC on the New Year's show. And there's, in fact, Will Yarrow going around there, spinning right around, and that's going to be problems for him. He's going to have to work really hard to try and qualify now from Heat 1. 462, Scott Davids going down the back straight, and Dougie Brimson is alongside me. Dougie, he's really looking good, the young man, isn't he?
He is looking good. The track's very damp though. They watered it before the start of the meeting to keep dust down, but you'll gradually see a dry line developing, and that's the line that the red tops and the blue tops will want to stick on. So 462, he's got his work cut out.
He's got his work cut out, and he's got to keep it going. He's got to keep his speed up, because those star boys from the back are pushing their way through, making their way through the field. Of course, there's always lots of traffic to think about in stock car racing. You've got the back marking cars ahead of you. You've got to weave your way through, keep it smooth, and keep the machine up to speed for the entire 16 laps. So we watch young Scott, as he really does look very good already, and I think this is going to be a young man to watch throughout the season. And I don't think it's going to take him too long to become a favourite with the fans. Talking of the fans, as you can see, lots of them in the stadium tonight to enjoy the Brisca Formula One stock car racing here. So Scott Davids leads. Right behind him is car number 46, the yellow-grey driver coming into view there. And that is Carl Gilbert. In actual fact, there's a spinner right in the middle of the straight down there. You can see the bumpers now, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. There's Paul Harrison in car number 2. Paul's been a long time in the sport, Dougie. He's never won the World Championship title, but that's one race he would really love to win.
Yeah, I mean, his father was a world champion, of course, and he was a great hero of mine when I was younger. So I'm a big Paul Harrison fan. I think he's, there's great things coming. We've got wave yellow now, and what that will do in effect is wipe out any distance that the leader has had and close the field up. So that will work to the favour of the Reds.
Yeah, it certainly will. It will close up all the gaps, and won't be good news for Scott Davids, but I'm sure he's going to be as cool as a cucumber inside the car. In fact, he's lost the lead now. As you can see, number 46 has swept through Carl Gilbert to lead from the front. Scott Davids in second place in car number 462, as once again the big cars charge down the back straight. Now look at that, Mark Woodall in 335, using the bumper there to move these boys over, and he's moved over Scott Davids, and I think Scott might have a problem there. Well, coming down the back straight now, there's Mark Woodall. He really is looking on good form. He's been in Formula One stock car racing for a few years now. And there's Paul Harrison sweeping through there now in car number 2. Paul Harrison looking like he's going well. Mark Woodall, we was talking about, says he really enjoys the Formula One class, much prefers it to racing his Formula 2 car, and he was quite successful in that. Now here's Paul Harrison coming down the straight, 288. Simon Panton going well just behind as they run into the turn. Few flames there, you can see underneath the Lenny Smith car, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, should it, Dougie?
No, that's just fuel in the exhaust pipe burning itself off. Harrison is through into the lead now. Absolutely cracking drive, some classic stock car racing to make some room for himself for that front bumper.
Harrison looking very, very smooth indeed. Simon Panton in car number 288 in second place. They run down into turn. Here comes Mark Woodall again. We've already seen him using that bumper, trying to tear through. He took a little bit of a backward step, but here he comes again, and he really is fired up for this 2007 season. Taking the turn down the back straight, he comes. Paul Harrison, the leader. And you can see the lap boards now being shown by Tony Osborne up there on the starters podium. So that means we're into the final sector of this heat race. Harrison just lets the back of the car drift out. We've got another waved yellow flag though, and this is going to once again close up all those gaps. So another problem around the raceway, concern for one of our drivers. The marshals there with the yellow flag, and yellow flag's really all a part.
Yeah,
of
now
this
what this will do, this will work to Mark Woodall's favour, because if he can get close enough to Paul Harrison and give him a good shunt, that will give him a space to get through on the inside.
Paul Harrison's got an awful lot of experience, though. He knows it's going to be coming, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and I think Harrison has actually got a problem looking at his inside wheel. I think he's got a puncture, which is going to really upset his handling.
Yeah, that will be a big problem for Paul Harrison, and he will lose his speed. And Mark Woodall knows it and has probably seen it, and he sweeps through on the inside, looking for a heat win success in the first race of the season here at the Coventry Stadium. Now Simon Panton going well in 2:88, sweeps through into second place. You can see Harrison dropping back with that puncher. Here comes Mark Woodall. He really is looking very good indeed. Out of the turn and even opening out a couple of lengths here on Simon Panton, who is in second place. And we look back, we'll see Dave Johnson there in car number 383 going very, very wide. And there's Paul Hines, the former European champion, in car number 259, sweeping through on the inside of Dave Johnson to pick up another spot. Back to the leader, there's a checkered flag. It's a win for Mark Woodall, and a very convincing win, that one, because as he stormed through using the bumper, he was pushed back and then came back again, so he came back to the front twice.
Yeah, I mean, that's the skill of stock car racing. You know, you use that front bumper not just to ram people out of the way, it's to make space for yourself so you can dive through on the inside and work your way to the front, just as Mark Woodall's done.
Well, here we are with heat number 2 now, ready to roll. 16 laps it will be once again, and the top 10 cars qualifying from these heat races through to tonight. So World Championship qualifying round. So the green flag flies, and this time we're underway, and there's Tim that charges to the front, cuts off the nose of his fellow white grading cars, just lets the back end drift out, because despite being a white grey driver, Tim has actually been around the stock car scene for quite a long time and races when he wants to, but he is pretty much a regular here at his local track here at Coventry. He comes from Bedford. Tim Warwick leads the way in heat number 2. The rest of the field charge through underneath us. We can see Mark Paul there in car number 276 going through the screen, and there's a spinner down. One of the yellow grey cars has gone around as Tom Harris charges. There's Frankie Wayman Sr. in car number 212, the 1979 world champion, would you believe, Frankie Wayman Sr. just charging through another spinner up there on the turn, and these opening laps in heat number 2 are quite lively. Yeah, they are. You see Mark Gilbank there going up the curb. It's not something I like to do, because going up the curb can risk damage to the suspension, can also risk a puncture, so you know, it may look effective, but they try to stay away from them as much as possible. Mark Gilbank is a good driver, been on the scene for quite a while, and using the bumper there, and he will indeed use the bumper to force his way through the front. And there's Frankie Wayman Frankie Wayman Jr. in fact, in car number 515, also using the bumper to good effect as they move over Harris and Frankie Wayman Jr. Wayman. Oh, the yellow flags come out again, and Junior sees that straight away. He signals to the drivers behind that it is a waved yellow, and so the waved yellow flag comes out, and that could well be for Nigel Worley that's spun. There he is, 198. Nigel Worley is stuck right in the middle of the raceway. So we go back under the green flag again. The race is back on. Junior Wayman charging through from the back. There's 515 comes around the turn. That's Junior Wayman, 307. Tim Warwick then comes into the turn. He's still leading at the moment. Tim Warwick, your race leader, charges down the back straight. And at the moment, Tim going well. He hasn't got too many cars in front of him. He's got away from that yellow flag quite nicely. And the fans really do enjoy and really do cheer him on. So he's leading the way at the moment, coming out of turn 4, heading back down the straight towards the start-finish line. He'll be looking in that mirror now, and he'll see these two guys bearing down on him, and he knows he's got his work cut out now, but he'll be out there enjoying himself and doing his best trying to stay there. Yeah, just look what's coming. Frankie Wayman Jr. in 515 in second place. Mark Gilbank in third place in car number 21. And at the moment, Tim just has a slight edge on those. He leads them by about 3 car lengths, but all the time, lap by lap, Junior Wayman is closing down the gap. Down the back stretch they go. Once again, look how close he's getting now. Junior Wayman all set for a big challenge here. Down the straight they go. And look at this, puts the bumper in and really moves old Tim over there. That was a big one. You feel things like that. You feel the force, don't you? And it was a big one. He knew that Tim Warwick was a driver that he couldn't really mess about with. Yeah, but, you know, to be fair, Warwick won't move out of the way. He's not one for stepping aside just because there's someone with faster equipment. You know, he considers himself a good driver, and he is. Frankie Wayman Jr. leads heat race number 2. Mark Gilbank is in second place. Car number 20, car number 326 there, getting spun. That's Peter Eastman, or getting knocked sideways by the race leader. That could have been a problem for Frankie Jr. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, there's always a risk when you throw yourself into the side of a car like that, because you never know
if he's going to turn in and you're looking at a puncture or some damage. But if anyone knows what he's doing out there, Wayman does.
Now we can see Peter Foldy having a problem with Tim Warwick there. He really had to work hard on Tim to make up that place as he sweeps through eventually. Peter Foldy, the former world champion there, moves up into third place now. Tim dropping down the order. Frankie Wayman Sr. in car number 212, also going well at the moment. He's back there in fourth place and looking good for a qualifying spot from this race. Peter Foldy in car number 33 there, trying to get up there with the top two boys at the back, marking that car of Tom Harris just ahead. Number 84, the former mini stock champion. There's Junior once again out front, leading the way in heat number 2. You can see the lap boards now being shown to the drivers. That means we're into the final segment of this race, and I think Frankie Junior looking a good bet for this one now.
Yeah, I think the bookies will have slammed their windows up by now on him winning this race. But you see the dry line out there. You know, Wayman won't shift off that dry line at all. He'll just bide his time. He knows he's got space behind him. He knows he's got decent space in front of him, and this is as good as in the back.
He is a truly international driver as well. He goes down to New Zealand in the winter. In fact, built a car to take down there this year, and he tells me that the racing down there in New Zealand is really, really hard stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's one of the things he does on a regular basis, but also because it spreads the word of the product we have in this country, which is probably the best of its type in the world.
So, race leader, 515, Junior Wayman, just cruising now. He's got to watch out for those back-marking cars. There is the checkered flag. It is a win for Frankie Wayman Jr. Crossing the line in second spot is Mark Gilbank coming through, and Peter Folding for an all-star top 3 crosses the line in third. I guess we could say all-star top 4 because Frankie Wayman Sr. is in fact over the line in fourth place. As you see there, the Heat 2 result. So at the front of the grid there, our man just running the cars through down the back stretch. They're heading round looking for that green flag. Car number 330 there is Wagstaff, Graham Wagstaff in 330 at the front in the white grey cars. Everybody gets up to speed now. The green flag flies and we're underway. So as they go down into that first turn, car number 325, Richard Davies is the race leader. There's John Lund at the back of the field. He's going to make his way through. And of course Andy Smith, who really was involved in a very exciting battle with Frankie Wayman Jr. at the end of season 2006. That really was good stuff, wasn't it?
It was real classic Stock.Car Racing, which came to head at Coventry Stadium, of course.
Yes, it certainly did. Number 55 is Craig Finnegan. He's motoring down the straight at the moment, and it looks like Graham Wagstaff. Oh, he's off the track there, up and onto the centre tarmac section. I think he's going to rejoin okay. There's Andy Smith with a problem. He's caught on the curb.
Yeah, not a place you want to be. There's some big names in this race. There's 180 Ray Witts, just working his way inside Craig Finnegan. Matt Newson's in this race. And there's Daniel Johnson, number 4. Big hopes for that guy, 16 years old.
That's right, they call him the teenage sensation in number 4, so watch out for him. Matt Newson from Norwich came straight up from the junior mini stock class to Formula 1 stock cars at 16. Now there's Dan Squire in 291, another driver that a few years back moved directly up into the big league stock cars. He's going well in this one.
He is. There's a real battle developing amongst these Reds at the back as they're trying to get their way through.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's important. They want to join the other top names in the final tonight, and you can see lots of cars there, lots of going for the positions and making sure. There's Ray Witts just ahead of Craig Finnegan. He's passed him. He used the bumper to just move him over, and car number 257 there, Timmy Aldridge, another young man that's come up from mini stocks. So going down the back straight, Craig Finnegan in car number 15, up the inside once again of Ray Witts. These two having a great battle there, and Craig's not about to give up by the looks of things.
He's not going to give up, no. There's points to be had. This is a world qualifier, remember, so these are very important points.
Oh, and Wagstaff's in trouble again. He was the man that went up and over the centre. He gets spun out by Dan Squire there, who's gunning for the lead. Wagstaff was the back marker, so it is Dan Squire that takes the lead. But look at the cars behind him pushing and shoving. We've got Ray Witts there in car number 180 in second place as they race down into the turn. He's really putting the pressure on the young man.
That's the front of your field. That's how that's Stock.Car Racing at its best, right there.
Number 55, Craig Finnegan. He isn't finished yet as he barges up the inside of Witts, and there's that man Wagstaff doing everything he can to cause chaos and commotion.
He'll be having an exciting time out there.
Exactly. Well, once again the leaders sweep past after him. This is a good battle, this one. Dan Squire, well, if he can possibly hang out front and hold this lot off, he'd have done a good job. And there's Dan Johnson in number 4, sparks flying from the back of his car as he made the turn. Now 55, Craig Finnegan, runs down the straight. It's Dan Squire the leader. It's Craig in second place in that 55 car. 180 Ray Wicks now back in fourth. 107 Lee Robinson has charged through into third place. And I'm one of the Star Grade drivers, and he's going well in this one. But this really is anybody's. This one turning out to be the heat of the three. Down the straight they go once again. Ray Wicks, can he move up anymore? There's car number 322, James Neachel, back there in fifth place, the blue-grey driver. Dan Squire, you can see V8, all these cars powered by those massive V8 engines there. V8 it says on the bonnet of the Squire car as he leads the way. Craig Finnegan in second place in car number 55. Back there in third place is Lee Robinson in car number 107. Here comes Lee with a bumper, pushing and a shoving, nerfing him over. Can he get through there on the inside? 55 Finnegan, a man with an awful lot of experience, holds him off, fends him off. This is really a good race, Dougie.
Yeah, Lee Robinson took a big risk there because you saw his front tyre nudge that back bumper, and that could have really easily ripped that tyre off the rim.
And that's not what you want. You don't want to end up in that consolation race when the last chance to qualify comes up. 53 John Lund appears on the scene from the back.
Yeah, it's all happening. These guys are really motoring on this track. They'll be hitting 60 mile an hour at the end of that straight. They're lapping. Oh, and that's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Yeah, it's a spin there, and Paul Phillips was involved in that. He was the man that took the yellow grade around Paul Phillips in car number 263, the blue grade driver. Now, has he got some damage? Just what you were talking about a moment or two ago.
Yeah, look at that. He's ripped that tyre to shreds. Now he needs to get off the line because he's going to be in everybody else's way.
Dave Willis trying to get through on the inside of him in car number 337, 180. Ray Wicks in trouble now after going so well throughout this race. He's going to be going back down the order. I'm not sure if he will qualify.
That was some recovery. Spectacular.
Yeah, he didn't hang about out there. There's Rob Cowley, another favourite in car number 73 to call him Snoopy. Here comes John Lund on the back of Finnegan for second place. And there's Lund using the bumper. You can see the professional. Checkered flag is out. Well, it's a win for Dan Squire. He fends them all off to take the win there. Lee Robinson got through into that second spot in car number 107. There's the winner, Dan Squire, the blue-grey driver. Good heat race for him in car number 291 as he slowly runs around the circuit. There you can see the official result. Lee Robinson coming through for a good second. Craig Finnegan finishing in third, and the former world champion John Lund in fourth place. Here we go then, the cars get up to speed, and this race, the extended distance of 20 laps. We have in fact got an onboard camera. There it is, the 195 car on the rear of the car, the Dean Whitwell car, and look at that, what great shots.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, that'll give you a good feel for what he's seeing in his mirror and the kind of speed that they'll be hitting.
And you can see just how much the cars slide around on the shell, can't you, there from that shot? Fantastic. 97 Murray Harrison is on the outside, a top line driver in the sport and going completely sideways. Here we are on the onboard with Dean Whitwell once again, and just look at the car sliding around the turn. The 136 car there is completely sideways. So once again we watch from the onboard there some really great views of the cars in the turns. 180 Ray Wicks going well. Good start for Ray in this one.
Yeah, Ray's flying. He wants the top spot, definitely.
He's running through the field at the moment. He's certainly passed a lot of cars already. It's Frankie Senior 212, and Jeff Nichols coming down the straight, just throwing the dirt up there.
Yeah, he's gone.
Really gives him the feel for this sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
These
the
big
terror.
cars, the terror, yeah. Probably the heaviest racing cars around, getting stuck in with bags of power. Dave Johnson there in 383 just gets a little bit of a clip from Ray Wicks, and Ray really on a charge here. He means business. He's up behind Murray Harrison. Oh, and he gives Murray
That was a big one. That started the lap before when Murray Harrison gave Ray Wicks a big nudge, and that was payback.
It certainly was payback, wasn't it? He's really launched him.
Oh, he went for a lunge again and he missed.
Yeah, didn't connect. He will be sick about that as Ray Wicks races away in that 180 car. Running down the back straight now. Dan Squire is just a little bit ahead in 291. Mark Woodall has raced ahead in car number 335, the heat number 1 race winner, back on board again. Oh, and problems for Dean Whitwell. He's up and over the tarmac there.
Yeah, that's him. That's his race run.
Ah, that's a shame. That's our camera gone as well. But 180 Ray Wicks is having a really good charge in this final here tonight. Big eyes on the side of the wing as he chases down Dan Squire, a placeman there in car number 291. And young Dan is a little bit wide there. Ray Wicks is up the inside of him. And we got one wheel up on the curve there for the white grey driver. That's car number 118, just charging around the turn. Steve Harrison coming back down the straight. There's Ray Witts. Once again, he's got a little bit of a clear space. He's got ahead of Dan Squire now. So down the back straight he goes. Dan Squire 291. Back there in around about 4th place at the moment. Nietzsche goes through. There's Rob Cowley in 73. His car a little bit lower than some of the others. That Cowley car.
That's always a risk when you're on shell because it is so bumpy out there. And it's what I said earlier about avoiding the curbs. You need to stay off the curbs when you've got a car that low.
And now look at this as Dan Squire fights back, wins his place back, got up the inside of Ray Witts there, and comes down the straight to take the place back again. Dan Squire really fighting for it. Here comes Ray Witts. Ray Witts once again. What a battle. This is the scrap at the moment for second place as Ray Witts comes through on the inside there, and once again he's back past Dan Squire. Great race those two have.
Yeah, it's great. It's a war out there. You know, there's battles going on all over this field. These guys need points. That's what it's all about.
Well, it looks as though if Ray can keep going, he will get a good point score from tonight. We're seeing a lot of him up at the front, but at the moment racing away out in the lead. It's still Mark Woodall with 3.35, having a great start to his season. And there's Dan Johnson there in car number 4 on the outside. Dan Squire pushing and earthing, still trying to...
He's having a real go. He's not giving up that place, Dan Squires.
He's certainly not, is he? And as they run down the straight once again, Witts gets the better of this little bunch at the moment, but he can't seem to catch Woodall, who is way ahead. Mark Woodall had a nasty scare in the Hensford World Final a few years ago, ended up being airlifted out of the stadium, but he's bounced back from that and he's really going well. He looks on top form now. And a crash here as, that's Scott Davis 462 that's gone out. Poor old Scott. There's Peter Folding in car number 33, making his way through the field in round about 10th spot at the moment for Peter Folding. So there's once again 172 is the car that has spun around, and that's Michael Randall in 172. Scott David's car, as you can see, he's hooked up. He's trying to get back into the race again and maybe salvage something, but I don't think he's going to be scoring any points.
Scott David's sponsors getting value for money tonight, that's for sure.
He is indeed. Of course, that was the very same sponsor of the famous Super Stuart Smith in years back down the line.
Yeah.
180 Ray Witts. We watch again, still chasing Mark Woodall, and there's Neil Shenton in car number 35. We've got Will Yarrow back there in car number 22. The bumper goes in. That's Yarrow using the bumper on Shenton, moves him over. He has to go to the outside of Murray Harrison, who has gone out now in car number 97. So Murray Harrison, no points for him in the final here this evening. Ray Witts in 180, just can't seem to catch Woodall. He's so quick tonight.
He is quick tonight, and I believe Yatesy is a lap down, so he's just really blocking Ray Witt's route to the front, which is working in Mark Woodall's favour, obviously.
Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it? Will Yarrow was a young charger, stayed with this sport, does all the meetings, goes all over the place to race. One of the drivers we saw in the live action arena up there at the Auto Sports Show during the winter pre-on. Great display for the fans up there, not only the stock car fans, but the circuit racing fans as well, enjoying the action from the Formula 1 stock cars. And once again, Ray Witts, you can just see Mark Woodall ahead. He's the blue-grey driver with the blue wing. He's there there he is now, and coming into the pitch and just up over the curb, and he's having to weave his way through there, Dougie. Yeah,
he's doing really, really well. He's having a spectacular drive, and he's just taking the checkered flags. That's all over.
And he's going to be well pleased with that, isn't he? What a great way to start the season for Mark. He's really looking fresh and sharp, and a great drive from him.
He and final win tonight.
Yeah, Mark Woodall wins the first final of the season here at Coventry, and an important one too. Mark used to race the Formula 2 cars, but really enjoys Formula 1, but with the Formula 1 cars for some while now. Great drive from Ray Witts. He was going well. He finished second. And Mick Rogers, the consolation winner, finishing in third place there.
Good to see some fresh names on.
Well, it couldn't have worked out better. He was my first interview and he will be my last of the evening. Mark Woodall, congratulations for winning the final.
Thank you very much. Good night tonight, it's been brilliant.
I can feel the adrenaline seeping from you. You must be feeling brilliant.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant night. Long time since I've done this, especially one of the toughest tracks, one of the fastest. And there's a lot of good competition. Tough race.
Tell us a little bit about the race.
Well, with winning my heat, I got Drew at the back of my grade, so quite a way back. You just got to get stuck in and go, find the gaps, make some gaps, and just have a look on your side. And it seems to be on my side tonight.
Well, now we come to the final event of the evening. The All-Comers Grand National Race is an event that happens at the end of all Formula One stock car meetings. Now, the final winner in this race, which is Mark Woodall, has to start on a one-lap handicap. He starts just in front of the white grey cars, and he will score double points for any position that he picks up from there. And we have 32 cars on the track as they get underway. And Frankie Wayman Jr., who went out of tonight's feature final with problems, has got problems at the start of this one. You can see him pulling onto the infield and then rejoining. These always turn out to be lively races, Dougie.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'd put fairly good money on Mark Woodall not winning this race, given the quality of the rest of the field out there.
That's right, yeah, it's a real tall order. I mean, it has happened before, but it doesn't happen very often where we see the guy on a one-lap handicap coming through to win. Now, there's Ray Witts in car number 180, one of the stars of our feature final tonight, and Stephen Kayser in car number 380 on the inside there. That's Craig Finnegan getting slightly out of shape, that keeps it going in the right direction. And problems there, we've got two cars tangled together, and one of those cars is the 371 machine. There's Stephen Kayser being pushed by Will Yarrow, and here's Finnegan on the inside. Now he's got going again. He seems to be going quite well.
Yeah, he's moving it. He just needs to get clear of that pack. That was all.
Yeah, get clear. And
simple as that.
With 32 cars on the raceway, it's a job to find a clear bit of racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got wave yellows now.
Yeah, looks like the 34 car in some trouble up against the fence there, so the cars slow down somewhat. Hayley Parkinson, a young lady driver, driving car number 54, also in trouble, and looks as though Hayley is going to go out of this race. Good to see a lady out there having a go at this sport.
Yeah, she's very popular with the crowd. The stock car racing community really encourage her.
A young lady that has come up through the mini stock ranks into Formula 1 stock cars. There's Craig Finnegan again, who's one of the front runners, and you can see as we come off the waved yellow flag period, and then back to green flag racing again, and charging down the straight. We saw Stephen Kayser just going through one more time, a driver that has picked up lots of wins over the last 3 years. 1 through 16, and Jacqueline going through our picture there, the yellow-grey driver. There's Scott Davids, who had some problems in the feature final.
Yeah, he's had problems all night, but he's kept us entertained.
He certainly has. He's keeping it going in this one. See if he can maybe salvage some points from this. Craig Finnegan then charging through to lead this race. The 118 white grading car there, Steve Harrison, getting really pushed and shoved about around the raceway, but doing his best to hang in there and give them hell. Number 318 just going through our picture. He seems to be going quite well at the moment. Another one of the white grader drivers, that's Billy Tom O'Connor. And there's Junior Wayman. We saw Scott Davids. I think Scott has got maybe a problem or two there. It's going a bit slow.
Yeah, it's difficult and stuff like this, but the bottom line is he'll have had a fantastic night. It looks like he's just retired.
So 152, Neil Scarfham. Neil having a good run in his race. Another driver that has been in this sport for a long, long time and always prepares a tidy race car, doesn't he?
Yeah, these guys put a lot of time and effort into getting these cars working right, and it's a tough old sport, not just for the guys, but for these cars as well.
And now take a look at this. We're in car with Mark Gilbank in car number 21. You can see him working the wheel there and balancing the car and drifting the car around the turns. That's a real art all by itself.
Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal to watch. It's such an exciting skill.
One of the top line drivers, Mark Gilbank there. We're watching from inside the car in the Grand National race. He chases down the straight. He's been past there, Dougie.
Yeah, it's a real race of attrition out there. I mean, these cars have been racing all night, and the problems are starting to show themselves now. So if they can keep them going, all credit to them. There's a lot of work been going on in the pits tonight.
And just a little bit dusty in this last race of the night, a little bit coming up. So that's proving to be a little bit troublesome for the drivers at a very different track to heat number 1.
Yeah, it's a lot faster, and as you say, it's a lot dustier, but it'll also be a lot rougher now.
Okay, well, there's Lenny Smith in 185, and he's going well. Well, Lenny, a few years back, used to race the Bash and Bruise bangers, but he moved on up into Formula 1 stock cars too, and another driver that goes well, and he's going well in this race, in fact. Lenny Smith moving up into the top 5 now. There's the race leader, Neil Scarfham, in 152, racing down that back straight, and now the bumper, a little bit of bumper work we can see on the turn. 1 or 2 more drivers having problems on the outside line. As we watch again, Craig Finnegan, our race. He's up into second place, in fact dropping down to third place now, Craig Finnegan there. going down the backstretch. Junior Wayman's got past. Now he takes a run down the outside.
Oh.
The cars clash. And still they keep it going. And you can just really get the feel that they feel every hit there.
Yeah, trust me, they do. He's not giving up on Wayman. I mean, Gilbank is a hell of a driver.
Anyway, leading the way in our final encounter of the evening, the All-Comers Grand National race, is Neil Scarfham, and there he is in car number 152, and he takes the victory, and I'm sure that Neil's going to be well happy with that. He'll go away from tonight's racing pleased that at least he's got a win under his belt.
Yeah, he drove very, very steady race, kept out of trouble, did exactly what he needed to do.
He looked very smooth too, so well done to Neil as he takes the win in the final event of the evening, which has been a good night's racing here at Coventry. Good start to the season.
Yeah, excellent start to the season, and let's hope the rest of it matches that.
And there is the final result of our Grand National for you.
I'm joined by Neil Scuddert, the winner of the Grand National, the last race of the evening. 152 prevails. How was that one? It looked like a battle out there.
Yeah, it's really fast tonight. Track was heavy with shell earlier on. Slowed the heats down, made it a bit tricky, but as you can see it's slick and dry now. So once you've got over the first few laps when they've watered it, it is really fast there. So.
Is it a bit more dangerous towards the end of the night because everyone thinks, well, I've got a whole month to the next serious race, so I can just go for it and bump as many people out of the way as possible?
It does get faster as the night goes on, like I say, track conditions, but also the last race, you haven't got a month, you've got till Monday, till the next race, so it's do or die in the last race. You've travelled all the way here tonight, so you want some points, that's what it's all about.
Well, it's been an absolutely thrilling night here at Coventry. I think you'll agree. The atmosphere has been amazing. A huge congratulations to Mark Woodall for taking the final, and indeed to all of our drivers that made the final tonight.